frequencies open.
It's showtime.
Hello guys, and welcome to the STPL. My name is Kix, I'm your host, caster, and organizer of this fine tournament. Well, I say fine tournament, but of course I'm biased, it is mine. As you can see, my cat is leaving me, so it's going to be a solo cast for today, but it should be a good one nonetheless. Now, of course, we are already at the end of round 2. This is the very final games of the group stages. Not too important as the winner or the advances to the playoffs have already been decided, but still should be two cool series nonetheless. Obviously, everybody wants to get their name on that scoreboard, get the best score they possibly can for their team, and we're going to see how it goes today for our 4 teams. Now let's actually have a look at the final results of well, it's not going to be the final results, but let's have a look at the results so far. Let's have a look at who is going to go through to the next round, or to the playoffs even. And let's just move over and have a look. Okay, so advancing from Group A, we do have Red with a 6-0 victory over their group. So an amazing job by them. Did a really cool job there, and you know what? They did a great job against many great teams as well. Group A was certainly no slouch, so they do take the first place position and do take the first spot in the semi-final A. And then we do have White Clan in second, just edging over Naz at the very end. But that was a very close series between Red and Naz we saw on Wednesday. One of the greatest games I've actually had the honor to cast, the Onzerg versus Krauk. That was incredible. They will be taking the second spot from Group A and going to the second place in semi-final B. Now let's have a look at Group B. Now this isn't fully decided, although the winners and losers have been decided. Depending on how SouL Gaming do against how they do against aSh here in our first series, they may get first, they may get second in their series. But we're soon to find out. That's going to be our first series of today. So let's quickly head on over and let's introduce what maps we're going to be seeing today. So I'll bring this screen back up at the end and we can have a look at who is going to be the final winners of Group A and Group B, and who are going to meet Red and who are going to meet SouL in the semi-finals. So let's actually head on over and have a look at our maps. So in set 1 we do have Neo Electric Circuit, set 2 Neo Aztec, set 3 Return of the King, set 4 Flight Dreamliner, and if we get to that ace match we will see Troy. That's going to be there in set 5. Now obviously we've had a bit of a hype week for the STPL. Hopefully this is going to be a good end to it. It's the start of a bank holiday weekend in the UK, so I've got Monday off. So I'm going to be bookending my time off with some casts. So here we go. Let's get started by introducing our first 2 teams. Okay, so on your left you do have SouL Gaming currently leading their group, Group B. They are currently 4-0 in this round. They did go 4-2 last round. Are they going to increase on their win count? In case you didn't realise, there is less games in Group B round 2 because one of the teams dropped out at the very last second after all the groups had been decided, so I couldn't reshuffle unfortunately. So we do have one less game from them. So while their score may not look as amazing as Red's 6-0, they are only one game away from a perfect sweep of Group B. Their players have been doing a very good job as well. And if we have a look at their opponents, aSh one of the struggling teams, not only of last round, but this round as well. They've had a lot of trouble drumming up support from their players, and it's really shown. Their games haven't been the best, but they've certainly come out and shown a lot of heart. The players that did stick around, players such as Dentag, has done an incredible job to really try and keep the team together. But after their defeat in round 1, a lot of players got a little bit disillusioned and didn't really want to play anymore. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but we do have 4 of their players here today, so let's have a look at who they're going to be. To start with, we are going to have Ultra versus jOjO. Now the second game would have been Dino T versus Herbie, but unfortunately that was a walkover. I'll explain that when we get to it. But that's going to be our only walkover, I believe, of today. Third game will be Noob versus Hit 'em Up. And fourth game will be Dandy versus Goody. That should be a lot of fun. And now let's actually have a look at who our first 2 players are and how they've been doing so far. Now we do have SouL Gaming's Ultra. He is 2-0 up in round 2. He went 3 for 2 last round. He's currently obviously at 100% win rate this round. And 3-2 against Protoss. He's shown some really strong TVP. And jOjO over here on the right, if you did see the thread, you know what? Man, my words today. You would have seen that he was Zerg in the thread. It's because I keep putting down the wrong race for him for whatever reason. So jOjO is Protoss. And here he is. He is 1 for 1 this round. Did a very good job. Did come back for the end of round 2 for aSh. Unfortunately, he wasn't there for the beginning. The last round he did go 0 for 2. So he's been doing a lot better job this time. An infinitely better job, some may say. And let's have a look at what map they're going to be playing on. It's going to be Neo Electric Circuit. Now, Neo Electric Circuit, very fun 4-player map. In-base mineral only is very good for Protoss early on because they do get their gateways up a little bit quicker. Does allow them to take their extra Nexus very safely for that third base, unlike on Circuit Breaker where it's very easy to Vulture Micro, Vulture Harass and everything. And you of course have the 12, 6, 3 and 9 o'clock gas bases. Now the middle is quite open, but there are those 2 little platforms that Terran can use to really try and push through that middle, force the Protoss to go through some chokes. The Protoss versus Terran is currently 1 for 1 on this map from the SK Planet Pro League Season 1. So let's head on over to our first game. It's going to be SouL's Ultra versus aSh's jOjO in our first game. Let's get started. And speaking of getting started, starting us off up here in the 2 o'clock position is going to be the yellow Terran fighting for SouL. Oh, okay, jOjO is he's subbing. Oh, okay, so he was subbing Zerg, but he's Protoss now, so this should be interesting. My bad. Wait, did I get the wrong game? Oh, okay, it looks like Ultra just wanted to play. Okay, so jOjO is, I believe, a Zerg player. Going to be off-racing here as Protoss, but his opponent, starting in the top right-hand corner, the yellow Terran, fighting for SouL, it's Ultra. And his opponent down here in the bottom left position is the blue Zerg, fighting for aSh. It's going to be jOjO. Oh, is there? 1 second. Hopefully this is a little bit better. Can you confirm? Okay, I don't know if this is actually working, but Creative, when he catches up, will be able to tell me, but nothing too crazy coming out from jOjO, going for the single gateway. And we do have that gas coming up as well, so very standard opening by him. Ultra, going for an ultra standard wall here on Electric Circuit. as well as his gas. So he's going to look to most likely do a siege expand here, maybe an FD, but his gas was one supply later than an FD. Now, interestingly, you can wall this with just a depot and a barracks, so that's something that Ultra could look into next time. Now, the thing with my microphone is my cat likes to bump up against it, so I imagine she knocks the cable out slightly. Happens every once in a while, hasn't happened while casting so far. But here it is. Luckily enough, I had you in the chat. With your ultra attentive ears, managed to save me from having a very low quality mic the whole cast. So thank you very much, once again, Creative. And of course, thank you for the host. But Cybernex Core coming up here for jOjO as well. Ultra going to scout fairly quickly. Did go for a cross scout first of all. Does this mean he is going to try and skip some Marines? It looks like he will do. At least for now. Is he going to try and build a quicker command center? I know it's actually going to be another Marine, so not skipping too many, but is going to be able to get this Marine out to try and harass this probe, stop it from coming into his base. But jOjO's going to get all the information he really needs to know. He's going to see that there's only one SCV mining gas, and he is going to see that there's no base up here, so... And you know what, that is fairly impressive, just to read out what Creative just said. He wanted to host me a little bit later with more viewers, but apparently his best of 7 cast only lasted 40 minutes. That is absolutely insane. Was it like Mega Cheese the whole time or something? I guess if you like 4-pull someone 4 times, it probably takes about 10 minutes, so... but either way, we've got a SCV scouting around, finds that third hidden pylon, and that's going to be a, well, second hidden pylon. That's going to be a very important scout for him. Knows there's no possible proxies coming up here. He did manage to kill the probe as well. We should have a Marine with a kill there. There we go. And we are going to see Ultra look to take his extra base. No, he isn't. He's going to send out another SCV. He wants to make sure that he does scout for any possible expansion timings. And this SCV isn't guaranteed to get away. Of course, the side disruptor there, causing a little bit of trouble on the Dragoon pathing. Going to give him a little bit more of a chance. Now we do have... Wow, we actually have a 2-fact coming in here from Ultra. It's not going to be an expansion at all. He's put his guys back on gas. This is going to be a very quick attack by him. Now, 2-fact at the best of times isn't the strongest build, especially in these modern times, but jOjO is playing his off race at the moment. And, I mean, it's a little bit surprising to go for it in cross positions as well. But, I mean, we're going to see Ultra go for it. Is it going to work out? We do have another SCV still being chased by the probe. And the Vulture actually moving across the map. Skipping the first tank is a very dangerous play to make. And could this end up really hurting him? The Zealot going to turn around and chase the Vulture. But that Vulture is going to get a good amount of scouting information. We even get this probe. Does manage to hit the pylon by accident. And again. But we'll block that. There we go. We do have a nice mine going down on top of the Dragoons. But is this going to be enough to hold on? The Vulture at the front has been cleaned up. Looks like Marines and Vultures are going to be the favour of the day. It looks like he's actually going to go for a 2-factory Vulture speed all-in. Now, or Vulture mine and speed all-in. Now, this isn't the easiest build to do. It's certainly not the easiest build to make work. But we're going to see Ultra give it a try. We see that jOjO is expanding. He's not going super all-in or anything, so his unit count isn't going to be super high. Now if Ultra can manage to get his Vultures over the map as quick as possible without wasting too many mines, this could work out for him. Now Vultures do full damage to shields. That does allow them to burn through the shields of these Protoss units incredibly quickly. But looks like we are going to have speed kicking in as these Vultures move across the map, and this is going to be a very painful experience for jOjO if he's not ready. But we already see a wall coming up. He's got a forge, got his Dragoons in place, but no! The Vultures get past, the Zealot gets pulled away ever so slightly, and suddenly jOjO is in a lot of trouble. Ultra doesn't have as many mines as he could have. They're going to be a little bit harder to actually see what's going on. Here we go, a nice mine going down on the Dragoon, but will take out some of these units. Now unfortunately Ultra isn't getting the best hits with his Vultures. He's patrol microing really well, but he keeps hitting buildings somehow. And that means this Vulture attack didn't do nearly as much damage as it could have done. but of course that is only phase 1. Another 3 vultures on the way. There's very little back here to defend. A nice mine going down again, but does get picked off at the very last second, and here we go. Vulture's going to try and speed their way past, and more mines being laid down next to the gateway is going to make it incredibly annoying to get by, but really nice target firing by jOjO. And here we go, 2 mines to 1 Dragoon. Not the best of trades, but still going to be good for our Protoss player. We see one of the Dragoons taking out those, but here we go, another 2 mines being laid down, but good target firing by jOjO is going to keep the vultures at bay for now, and eventually we are going to see the observatory and the obs, and this is when going for this vulture style can really hurt you. You do have a very late expansion, which we can see is barely even mining. The SCV is now being transferred. He doesn't have any tanks at the moment. He doesn't really have the minerals to either, because he has tried to immediately go into a command center. But this is incredibly greedy by Ultra here, and I'm kind of interested to see, or I'd really love to know why he did go for that. He's really trying to get back into the game now. Ultra has most likely spoken to Scan, who is one of his teammates on SouL, and I know when I spoke to Scan, his big advice was, if you get behind, there's 2 things you can do. You can either go all in, or you can play super greedy, and Ultra is playing super greedy. He's going to try and use the advantage that jOjO feels a little bit trapped in his base for the time being to get a very quick defendable 3rd base. But is it going to work out for him? Of course, we do have jOjO now with his first observer, going to be able to clean up some of these mines. Does need to be careful though. The observer is a little bit slower than the Dragoons, so if the Dragoons get a little bit too far forward, you can find yourself in some trouble. And it looks like he's actually going to abandon the observer for now and head straight into a mine. Is he going to be able to get away from this? Oh, this is going to be very close, but it looks like he is going to find an SCV. Will take that down. And that observer is going to come back to the Dragoons eventually. Now, how many... We see the 3rd Nexus actually coming up for jOjO. What other tech do we have? We have an additional 2 gateways, a Stargate, a Citadel. So it's going to be not Fleet Beacon, it's likely going to be for Arbiters here, as we do have another pylon. So it's going to be 5 gateways and a Stargate. No Robotech as of yet, but you can see this is where the problem starts coming in. If jOjO had actually kept rallying his units over, if you think that's about 8 Dragoons, 2 Zealots, and there's only, okay, there's 4 tanks to defend already, but he did take a long time to get over there. But if it had pushed a little bit quicker, he could have done a lot of counter damage. Now, Ultra being incredibly safe, he's adding on a few turrets, just to make sure that he doesn't get caught off guard by any Reavers or any DTs or anything like that. And he is going to start to flood factories. And this is when jOjO is going to start finding himself in a little bit of trouble. Now, jOjO is going to try and go for another base himself. Going to find these vultures, though. And unfortunately for him, he's not going to get that free Nexus he thought he would do. And now, of course, there is 2 sides of every coin. We do have Ultra. He's pinned very far back. He's playing incredibly greedy off a very few units. So he's not going to be able to push out for a very long time. And this is going to allow jOjO to expand a little bit more freely. And it looks like that's what he's going to do. He's aiming to take the other main. Now, interestingly, this I would say is a little bit closer push-wise for Ultra. It does give him the chance of pushing up onto this high ground as well. And that's going to be a little bit annoying for jOjO. Now, let me check. The stream looks fine. I do apologize if you are getting a little bit of lag due to the quality. One of the issues is I'm not partner yet, so I don't get the quality options all the time. I have tried to stream at a lower quality, but then it doesn't look very good at all. So if you do need to tune out because of the lag, do know that all the VODs will be going up on my YouTube after the cast, so you can always check those. That's KicksSC on YouTube. I'll post them up in the thread on Team Liquid as well. But here we go. Looks like jOjO gonna start to move out on the map. Just try and find his feet in the middle of the map here to be able to secure his bases. Nice use of that Zealot to take down a lot of these mines. Now, interestingly, there's actually very few observers here for jOjO. I mean, he's pushing forward, loses a Dragoon for 1 mine. That is not a good trade whatsoever. And this is actually going to maybe give Ultra the ability to start to slowly push down. Now, during that move, Ultra actually managed to get an SCV out and does scout around to see what he can find Doesn't see anything too important, but we see a cannon being added here, and jOjO is likely going to double expand behind this, and that's going to be very difficult for our Terran player to deal with. Now Ultra is of course building up quite a big army. He's going to have +1 attack very, very shortly. He's going up to 9 factories, which is going to be a big amount of units pumping out. He needs to have that third machine shop. There we go, straight away. And now of course he is only on 2 gas at the moment, so a little bit harder to support the 3 machine shop style. He's going into his starport, so this is a little bit late as well. A little bit later than you would want it. You want your science facility by the time your +1 attack's done and another armory. It looks like he's going to make a timing of this. He's pushing out with a lot of siege tanks. He's going to be building pretty much nothing but vultures out of all of his factories for the meantime. And here we go. Does jOjO really have enough units to deal with this? He doesn't actually have that much back at home to defend. He is on a lot of gateways now. We do have the Arbiter Tribunal coming in. But Ultra is going to move down here and secure his 4th base. And this is when Terran starts to get a little bit scary. And now, of course, we do have these extra gateways being added on the bottom right. We don't actually see a nexus yet, kind of interestingly. Has chosen to expand into the middle faster and add a lot of cannons there, which feels a little bit redundant to me, but jOjO obviously has a plan with this. We see Ultra taking a very, very nice position, going to completely defend this base, and that's going to give him access to the 3rd gas he desperately needs. Now actually skipping out on the +1 armor, he is going to wait until he gets his science facility in the extra armory, I think. Where is that going to go down? It doesn't look like he's adding one, which is kind of interesting, but we do see one of the Dragoons getting taken down by this contingent of vultures. Now, the cannons did seem a little bit redundant when he could have expanded a little bit more, but they are going to save his base over here. 2 gateways being added on to help wall this off. And these vultures going to lay some mines and get out of dodge, but jOjO's units in pursuit. Oh, here we go, the Zealots moving into the mine. That was a huge mine drag, but didn't really do too much. Like 6 mines didn't even kill a Zealot, man. That is my pain. But that is the power of having mines too close together. You do find them blowing themselves up more often than not. So that's why that did happen. Mines, of course, do splash themselves. They splash allied mines. But here we go. Looks like we are going to have jOjO trying to push in. Going to be very difficult to push over this this bridge. He's going to maybe try and go down here. Now, funnily enough, a single vulture did manage to get down here, and he has laid a mine. Now, rather than sending a couple of units, he sent his entire army down here to deal with this. And now there is an observer over the army, does know what's coming in for Ultra, and here we go. He's actually going to push in from one angle. Is this going to be a good move, though? It's going to be very, very dangerous. There's no flank at all, and this is a very, very deep tank line, but there's a lot of Zealots pushing down on top of the front tanks. But this is so many units back here from Ultra, and jOjO is forced to retreat for now. Oh wow, nice scan on that DT. We see jOjO losing a lot of supply there. Has pulled back to try and deal with those vultures, but doesn't quite manage to do it. The tanks in an incredible position. A really great tank line there by Ultra, and jOjO's forces are pushed back once again. Of course, he does have a lot of units in reserve. He's got a lot of gateways, actually. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 gateways at the moment, all pumping units. Interestingly, he hasn't taken out this mine yet. And here we go, this is Ultra's time to push. He knows he's taken out a lot of units. And this is a lot of tanks. They have +1 attack. There's currently only +1 attack here from the Protoss player. And this could be a little bit too much for jOjO to hold on against, as Ultra is pushing across the map here on New Electric Circuit. And there we go. This could be game here. jOjO stacking up a lot of money. He's been focusing a lot on his micro. But Ultra's army is just far too strong here. There's barely any units left from jOjO. He's down 40 supply, and just look at the sheer number of tanks left over by Ultra. jOjO is going to try and get as many units out of his gateways as humanly possible, as quick as possible, but Ultra is not going to give him that liberty. There is no other main, there's no second line of defense here for jOjO. This is everything he has, and he is about to lose it in a very, very strong push here by Ultra. And there we go, some Zealots giving their life for Aya, taking down a couple of the Vultures with a Mind Drag. But still, jOjO is just buying time right now. He's going to lose his 4th base, his all-important 3rd gas. And Ultra looks like he isn't going to be stopped. There's a lot of units coming in from him. He's up still at 9 factories. He's not even getting vessels. He knows he's in the lead here, and he knows it's going to be very difficult for jOjO to really do anything. jOjO's mining not as efficient as it could be. He doesn't actually have that many probes at all of his bases. And this is most certainly going to be GG from jOjO. Now he is going to try and hold on a little bit longer. This is his last bastion of hope. He pushes out with his last Zealots, his last Dragoons. Can he clear a path through these bottom tanks? Yes he can, but it's not going to be enough. Just look at the tanks coming in from behind. And that isn't it from Ultra. Ultra's got a big army here. He's got his 5th command center, and this is just too powerful by Ultra. He's completely broke. jOjO is in such a dire situation here. He's trying to use his Zealots to get as much damage as possible, but good scans have managed to take those out. And I mean, jOjO is just in a dire situation. He does have an Arbiter over here. Maybe he can recall some probes or something and play refugee style. But I think jOjO is just processing his loss here as Ultra pushes towards his enemy. Yeah, you can see that we have a small contingent of forces by jOjO trying to go in to put some pressure on, but it's not going to be enough. Ultra has now split his army. It doesn't really matter, even if Ultra loses all these units, he's actually just being really super inefficient with them at the moment. But it doesn't really matter, he stopped the mining of the natural, he's getting a lot of the units that are popping out, and look at the reinforcements. This is just too much for jOjO to handle, and that isn't it. There we go, GG! And jOjO is taken out by Ultra in the first game. Now, of course, that is only the first game. There is still 2 more games in the series. I say 2 more, well, 2 or 3 more games. The only reason why I say that is there was a walkover in Game 2. That was only the only walkover from this week entirely, actually. Well, I guess Bull not showing up at all was a pretty big deal. But either way, let's report that on the overlay. And let's get ready for our 3rd game of the series, which is going to be a fairly good one. So let me just quickly set it up for the second one. It would have been Dino T versus, let me double check, Herbie. Unfortunately, Herbie couldn't make it. The reason why he said he didn't make it is kind of funny, but he still didn't make the game. But you know what, I'm just gonna say it. Herbie got incredibly drunk and didn't wake up until 6 p.m. So that is very that is impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is some serious drinking to be able to sleep that long. But either way, let's give the win to Dino T, and let's get ready with our 3rd game of the series. It should be a good one. So let's head on over to the intro, and I'll be back in just a moment. See you guys very soon.